It's changed my life. And when you think that there's not enough to go around, it's like being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Okay. You can't have 1 foot in the world of abundance and 1 foot in the world of lack. Okay. This whole thing works with abundance. All right. This whole thing works with alignment. Is either you think of abundance or you think of lack. You can't have 1 foot in abundance and 1 foot in the lack. You have to be either all the way in with abundance or all the way in with lack. Okay. And whichever one you choose will determine your reality, guys. And that's super, super important. Okay. And that's something that I had to understand. That's why now I only focus on the abundance. And, you guys could probably be like, Nano, it's easy for you to say you live in a beautiful penthouse in Miami. You're making all this money a month. Your crypto portfolio looks great. You travel the world. But, guys, I was thinking like that when I had nothing. I was thinking like that when my bank account looked like gas prices. I was thinking like that when I had a team of 10 people. I was thinking in a state of abundance when I had nothing. So remember, guys, everything that I had today is because I attracted it through my thoughts. I became this reality before I even had this reality. Understand that. Everything I had today, I became before I had it. Okay. I'm still the same person I was a year ago. 2 years ago in terms of the way I was thinking, right? But guess what? Now I have what I was thinking about. I was thinking about this penthouse. I was thinking about the thousands of people on my team. I was thinking about the success, and now I'm that. Guess what? Now I'm having different thoughts that's going to help me attract the next step in my life, the next phase in my life, the next level in my life. Why? Because I'm thinking in abundance. All right, guys. So, number two is thinking that there's not enough to go around. Get rid of that mindset. There is enough to go around, right? Number three is comparing yourself. That's one of the biggest blocks that's holding you back from getting to the next level, family. You got to remember this: comparison is the thief of all joy. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And we are all guilty of this behavior. We are all guilty of this behavior. We are all guilty of comparing ourselves to the next person, to the next leader, to the person who's above us. Man, he has more than me. Man, he's making more. Man, I wish I had that lifestyle. I wish, I wish, I wish. Remember, guys, there's a difference between wishing for something and actually being ready to receive it. hmm You heard that, right? There's a difference between wishing for something and actually being ready to receive it. Okay? Stop comparing yourself. What's going to make you, all right, deserving to receive what you're asking for is focusing on you, focusing on your growth, focusing on your morning routine, focusing on your results, focusing on your team. Okay. Focus on you, family. Take your focus off of all the things that are not bringing you any value and focus on you. As long as you change, every time, everything will change. Because understand this, right? The moment you compare yourself, you lose the power to attract. Think about it. How do you feel when you compare yourself? How do you feel when you compare yourself and the person that you're comparing yourself to is more successful, makes more money, has a better relationship than you do, is surrounded by great mentors, right? How do you think that makes you feel? It doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel less than. Okay. And remember, you can attract when you're feeling down, when you're feeling less than, when you're feeling depressed. So when you compare yourself, you lose your power to attract. And understand, right? Every time you compare yourself with someone, you reinforce feelings of inadequacy. You reinforce feelings of inadequacy. Now, what is inadequacy? What's the definition, right? It's the inability to deal with a situation or life. So when you start to feel this, when you start to feel like, you don't know how to deal with certain situation and you have the inability, that's not a good feeling, right? And those feelings are strong. All right. You don't want to compare yourself to anybody. Okay. Energy goes where your intention flows. Listen to that one. Your energy goes where your intention flows. So whatever you want to do is focus your energy on becoming a better version of you. All right. Because if you focus your energy on you, the intention will flow towards you. Everything that you ask for will come towards you, which is very, very important. All right. So that's number three. The third block that is holding you back, all right, is comparing yourself. All right. Block number four, all right, is the need to win in the expense of having fun. That's block number 4. Listen to it. The need to win in the expense of having fun. Now, Nano, what do you mean by that? Okay, sometimes what people do is, right, their desire to win becomes so obsessive that they forget that they need to have fun at the end of the day. Remember, we didn't join this journey, or we didn't decide to go on this journey to be miserable, to be sad, to be depressed, to be, down all the time. We chose to go on this journey to have fun. Like, yes, is it hard? Absolutely. Is this journey a roller coaster? Yes, it is. But guys, let's have some fun. All right? Have some fun. Go talk to your friends, talk to your people, take a trip, smile, laugh. When you fail, pop the champagne. Okay? When people leave your business, love them on the way in, love them on the way out. Have fun with it, guys. Don't let the business overcome you. Don't let the struggles and the things that happen in the business become more than you. Okay, shift your perspective, your perception of what's going on. Okay, everything is all perception. All right, and remember, happiness is based on winning. Okay, and every day that you wake up, you're winning. So what are you unhappy about? If you woke up today, if you're listening to this podcast in a car, on your phone, you have your headphones in, all right, just because you have access to this information right here, you're winning. So I want you real quick as you're listening to this, just smile. Just smile. I'm smiling right now. I have a huge smile on my face. I wish you can see it. You know why? You know why I'm smiling? Because I am winning. I'm right now recording a podcast that hundreds and thousands of people from all around the world are listening to. What do I have to be sad about? I have nothing to be sad about. I have everything to be happy about. Okay, you know why? Because when you change your focus, okay, from fear and losing to winning, everything changes. The journey is so much fun. Hey, you're going through some challenges, have fun and celebrate it. Some people left your business, great. Your mom and dad, your people, your friends, your community is doubting you, they don't believe in you. Amazing. Stay happy. It's part of the journey. Okay? Let go and allow the blessings to flow through you. All right? Because if you try to compete, if you try to make this, too competitive, you know what's going to happen? Competition creates separation. You're going to separate yourself from what you really, really want if you try to compete too hard with this. Okay. So, number 4.
Damn, these podcasts are good, dude. I'm over here listening to myself again, and I'm like, dude, these podcasts are solid. All right, let's get this call started. Familia, grand rising. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Mornings with Nano. I am your host. My name is Nano Torres, and I am so excited and so blessed to be on today's call with all of you. The vibrations are high, the emotions are high. Everything is amazing. We're feeling good. We're feeling amazing. And I'm just so blessed and highly favored to be on today's call. Jasmine with the production, she's definitely one of a kind. But I'm feeling on top of the world. I expect miracles. I get miracles. I accept quantum leaps in my life. Everything is working in my favor. Everything I touch is turning into gold. Life is abundant. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me abundantly. I am giving away so much because I have so much. I live in abundance. Lack does not exist in my reality. And this is what it's all about, guys. These are the things we got to say to ourselves. This is the way we got to live. Momentum is here. It's not coming, it's here, and it is happening each and every single day. And I'm just so excited for where it is that we're going right now. We are in the shift. Everybody is in the shift. We are shifting realities. We are shifting businesses. We are shifting levels. We are going to higher highs. And I'm just so blessed and highly favored for the opportunity that we have for us to grow, for us to become better, for us to continue to elevate our lives. And I don't know about you guys, but right now it's time for a shift. Regardless of where you are in life, I don't know exactly where you are in life, but it's time for a shift. And I want you guys all to understand that because it is super, super important. Let me see. I had a book here that I wanted to share with you guys. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I still have it in here. No, I don't. But shifts are very important in life, and I want to make sure that I give you guys a beautiful story on the power of the shift. Let me get it for you guys really fast. But real quick, where is everybody calling in from? Let me see where we live from right now. Where is everybody calling in from? What cities, what countries we at today? Let's see. Where we at today? We got San Diego, we got Georgia, the Netherlands is in the building, Naples, Florida, Iowa, Shift City, Shift City, San Antonio was good, Bria. We got Miami, we got more San Antonio, we got Houston. My sis Holly's in here. Holly, I see you getting lit over there in Houston. Make sure you behave out there. Toronto, St. Louis. There we go. St. Paul, Minnesota. We got Tampa. We got Croatia in the building. We got more Netherlands. We got Long Beach. We got French in the building. What's up, fam? The France family's here. UK, UK. Okay, H-Town, Bay Area, ATL, Tampa. I love Tampa, by the way. Brooklyn was good. Where Brooklyn at? San Antonio, Tampa, Florida. More Brooklyn. Okay. I love to see it. Well, look, guys, today is Tuesday, April 29th. And these calls are happening now, if you're not aware, every single day, Monday through Friday. Mornings with Nano has officially become its own entity again. I was once partnered with a company and I am no longer partnered with them. So for the time being, I will be doing Mornings with Nano on YouTube and on Instagram 5 days a week, every morning, just so that you guys are aware. We're going to be starting at 10 a.m., 10:15-ish usually is the time that I'm going to be starting. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be working on a lot of things, myself and Jasmine. We got a lot of things in the works, and we're just going to make sure that we put you guys all in position. We're very intentional about this next phase in our life, and heading into the summer, we're going to do some amazing things, and I'm really, really looking forward to what the next step in life is. So I appreciate you guys hopping on. Good morning, Gio. How you doing, my brother? Good morning, family. And I'm excited. I'm excited for where it is that everything is headed and where it is that we're going. Today's training is called The Shift. All right. So can everybody type The Shift in the chat box? The power of the shift. And I'm going to be talking spiritually today. I'm going to be talking spiritually today. All right. Because in all areas in our lives, there's always going to be a time in your life where you're going to have to make a shift, whether that's a shift energetically, whether that's a shift relationally, that's going to be a shift, going from one job to another job, going from one relationship to another relationship, going from one state of mind to another state of mind, from one state of consciousness to another state of consciousness. We're always going to be making shifts. My brother Rogerio, all the way from Portugal, in the building. What's up, Papi? How you doing, bro? Hope to see you soon. So I want to talk a little bit about the shift here today, and I think it's important that we talk about it. But before we do so, I want to tell you guys a story. And there's a story of who's read the story of, in the book U Squared, at the very beginning of the book. If you read the book U Squared, of the fly that dies on the windowsill, right? Anybody read that story? Put a 1 in the chat box if you guys remember that story, for those who have read the book. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about that. All right, so let me tell you guys a story, and then we'll jump into the training that I have for you guys. So there's the story of a fly. Think of a fly, right? And this guy is, it's funny that I remember the name of the hotel. It's called the Millcroft Inn. It's called the Millcroft Inn. And in the story, this guy is sitting at the Millcroft Inn, is a hotel, one of those motels actually, and he's sitting there and he's watching this fly attempt to escape out of a window that's closed. Okay, and this fly is consistently flying into the windowsill, hitting it, coming back, hitting it, coming back, hitting it, and he keeps hitting the windowsill, and he's trying to escape. and he keeps backing up. The fly keeps backing up, and then boom, hitting the windowsill again, and backs up again, and boom, hits the windowsill again. And this guy in the story, he's watching this fly with try this futile attempt to get out of the window, knowing that there is no chance. There is no chance for them, for that specific fly to get out that window. It's closed. It doesn't have the strength. It doesn't have the arms. It doesn't have anything in its life to allow it to escape out of that window. And if it keeps going, it's going to die. And what the funny part about the story is that the guy says that the fly keeps trying to escape out of the window, but what the fly doesn't recognize that if it just turns around, the door is wide open for it to walk outside and just fly outside and be in freedom. And what the moral of the story basically states is that sometimes we are the fly on the story. We are the fly that continues to hit the windowsill over and over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's us. And a lot of times in our lives, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. All right. We keep trying the same strategy. We keep waking up following the same routine. We keep doing the same day-to-day actions, and we are expecting a different result. We are just a fly who is going to die doing the same thing over and over and over again, trying to escape. When all in all reality, all we had to do was turn around. So all we had to do is turn around, and we have freedom. All we had to do is shift. All we have to do is pivot and change our direction. And a lot of the time, that's what the shift is. It's you shifting directions, you shifting the way that you think, you shifting your routine, you shifting the time that you wake up, you shifting the way that you eat. Everything has to shift. And in order for us to get to the next level in our lives, we all have to make a shift in our lives. Whether that's, like I said, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, there needs to be shifts that happen in our lives, because if we keep following the same routine, we'll always stay where we are. All right. If I kept my same spending habits that I always had my whole life, I would be broke still. But I had to change, I had to shift my spending habits. If I would have never shifted my way of thinking, I would still be living at my parents' house. If I would have never shifted the way I dealt with relationships, I would still be miserable, right? There's so many things that I had to shift in my life in order for me to be successful. So today, what I want to talk to you guys about is the power of the shift, but spiritually speaking, because the spiritual side of success is the most important side of success, not just the physical, but the spiritual side. And remember, guys, sometimes the shift, we resist it. Sometimes we resist the shift. And sometimes the shift is that very thing that we've been praying for. And this is important because we often think of the shift as a business move, a new company, a new role, a new chapter. But what if I told you that the shift isn't just professional, it's spiritual? What if the discomfort you're feeling isn't failure, it's alignment in disguise? Because remember, guys, rejection is redirection. Let me ask you that question again. What if the discomfort that you're feeling isn't failure, isn't disappointment, but it's alignment in disguise? What if this moment right now is about leaving something behind, but rising into something greater? I had to think about that. Remember, we're talking spiritually and energetically here. What if this moment right now is not about leaving something behind, but rising into something greater? Put a 2 in the chat box if you want greatness. Who wants greatness? Type it in the chat box. If you're looking for greatness, if you're expecting greatness, If this is something that you're looking to accomplish in your lifetime, you want greatness in your life. We have over 150 plus people on this call this morning. Do we all want greatness? Yes or no? Perfect. So let's talk about the three ways that you can understand the power of the shift, spiritually speaking. Number one, all right, understand this. Number one, the shift is a calling, not just a change. Write this down. The shift is a calling, not just a change. This is important to understand. When you're making a shift, it's a calling, it's not just a change. And we got to remember that spiritually, a shift is divine redirection. The shift is divine redirection. Then explain divine redirection. That means that God is moving pieces on the on the chessboard. He's moving the pieces. So when a shift is happening in your life, it's God that's making the move. So if you're shifting in relationships, if you're shifting in businesses, if you're shifting in consciousness, if you're shifting in energetically realities, God is making that that redirection. Because listen to this. When your spirit no longer fits the space you're in, life begins to shake things up. Listen to that again. When your spirit no longer fits the space that you're in, life begins to shake things up. Has anybody been getting shaked up recently? I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting shaked up. Life began to shake some things up for me. That's the truth. That's just me. My spirit was no longer fitting the space that I was in. So God started to do what? Shake things up. Because the thing is, believe it or not, we're all very hard-headed. You know when they say God will teach you the same lesson over and over and over and over and over again until you finally make a change? Well, God is the same way when you try to stay in the same place too long. God is telling you, yo, you're meant for more. You're meant for more. It's like when you're in a relationship that you know is toxic and you stay in it longer and longer and longer because you have this fear of letting go. You have this fear of what this person is going to look like with somebody else, and you just stay in that relationship. And even though it's toxic and even though you're unhappy, you stay in the relationship when you know you deserve more. Has anybody else been there before? Right? Put a 2 in the chat box if you've been there. I'm sure from a relationship perspective, I'm sure that all of us can relate. Well, it's the same thing in life. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in consciousness. It's the same thing in so many other areas. Jasmine's like, I'm there now. So think about that. When your spirit no longer fits the space that you're in, life begins to shake things up. So if you're wondering why is life shaking things up for me? Why is God doing this to me right now in particular? Is because every single one of us were meant for more. We're meant for so much more than we give ourselves credit for. We sometimes we water ourselves down. We discredit ourselves because the people around us, the situations around us, all these things around us allow us to basically dim our light when we know deep down inside that we're meant for so much more. So what God does is he shakes us up. He shakes us up. Yo, wake up. Let's go. I need you to get out of this situation. I need you to get out of this relationship. I need you to get out of this. No matter how much sometimes we want to stay in this space, God has to shake those things up because our growth can no longer expand in that specific area or in that specific environment. I wrote a caption the other day on Instagram where I said, I'm done dimming my light. And I was real about that because sometimes we dim our light to fit the environment that you're in. And I said, why are you even dimming your light, bro? You're meant for so much more. Every single one of us on this call, we are meant for so much more than we give ourselves credit for, believe it or not. I know, Rosie, you're meant for so much more. Jessica, Linda, Sophia, Ricardo, Cash, Natasha, Bria, Karina, Emmy, Danielle, Bria, all of y'all. Bossy Bills, Samaya, Eunice. You guys all know you're meant for so much more than you're living in right now. Jayana, you sis, I know you know that you're meant for so much more than you're living right now. Way more. Way, way, way more. The way I see Jayana is not the way that I see you today. I see Jayana doing amazing things, traveling the world, impacting women, showing women how it is that they can become 6 and 7 figure earners, the most confident version of yourself. Okay, leading with God, doing the most, becoming a skillful leader. I see that, but we gotta step into that now. That's the way I see Bria. That's the way I see you, Rosie. That's the way I see all of you guys on this call. I see you guys for who it is that you guys are going to become, not where it is that you are right now. My brother, Jensen, que lo que. So it's so key that we understand this. But like I said, here's what happens. There needs to be a shift that happens. Because I'll repeat again, when your spirit no longer fits the space that you're in, God begins to shake things up. So, Jayana, has God been shaking things up for you? Holly, has God been shaking things up for you? Rosie, Ricardo, Samaya, all of us. Let me know. Jose, has God been shaking things up for you guys? Let me know. Give me one sec. Hold up. So that's important that we all understand that. We all have to understand that. All right. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. There's a Bible quote that goes behind this as well, which is Isaiah 43, 18 and 19, which it says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. There's a Bible verse for all of this. Forget the former things and do not dwell in the past, it says. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and the stream and streams in the wasteland. You know, I never forget what my mentor told me. He said, Neno, he said, when things are happening in your life, look for Bible verses that represent those things to confirm it. And that's when you know you're in alignment. If a Bible verse can confirm it, you're in alignment. If there's no Bible verse on it, question it. So you know what I did? I said, you know what? Let me check this up. Let me look it up. Let me see if God is in alignment with this. And there it is. Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19. Forget the former things. Forget your former self. Forget that former relationship. Forget the things that happened to you in the past. Do not dwell in the past. You see, God is doing something new for you. Do you not see it? He's making a way. He's making a way for us. So we have to be understanding of that. So number one says the shift is a calling, not just a change. It's a calling. You know, yesterday I was on a call with one of my leaders. Her name is Mina. I don't know if she's on this call. I saw her earlier here. Yeah, she's actually here with me now. And I was on this call with her, and she, you know, Mina's a savage. She's one of the best that I know at what she does. And she says there's a difference between comfort and calling. And I'm like, where's she going with this? Because this sounds good. And, you know, she says it. She says there's a difference between comfort and calling. And we're usually used to the comfort, you know, comfortable doing what we've always done, comfortable with the routine, comfortable with that relationship, comfortable with that income. We get comfortable with it. Okay. And that's the thing with a lot of us. We get comfortable where we're at. And it holds us back so much when we stay comfortable. But the thing is, some of us, we need to understand that there is a calling then. There's a difference. There's comfort and there's calling. Calling is what God is calling you to do. Calling is where now you got to get uncomfortable and do things that you've never done. Because remember, if you do things that you've never done, you'll get things that you've never had. And when she said that, there was something that just sprang in my mind. And I realized that even myself, personal development educator, Nano, Mornings with Nano, podcast, this, public speaker, you realize that sometimes you get comfortable in specific areas in your life. And sometimes we choose to ignore the callings in our lives, when in reality, we need to be choosing calling over comfort. Because a calling is when we are being divinely aligned to move in a specific direction, but we choose to ignore it. We choose to ignore because of our emotional attachment to specific things, our emotional attachment to the comfort, to the safety of the situation or the circumstance that we're in. But sometimes we got to listen to our calling. The calling is the key. The calling is where it's going to get you. It's having peace over pleasure. That's the key. Peace over pleasure. I love that right there. I'd rather choose my peace, right? The peace is me going with my calling. Pleasure is me staying comfortable where I'm at. I want peace. Who wants peace? Type peace in the chat box if you want peace. Because the only way you're going to get peace is by following your calling. Because God gives you that peace. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful when the amounts were small. Now I'm going to give you access to more. Peace comes from following your calling. And that's the reality of it. Because staying where you are, staying comfortable, that's only pleasure. We want peace. And in reality, nowadays, you know what the biggest flex is? It's not money. It's not a car. It's not the house that you live in. It's not the jewelry or the bag or the shoes that you wear. You know what the biggest flex nowadays is? The biggest flex nowadays is peace of mind. That's the biggest flex. Because what is all the money in the world if you have no peace? What is all the cars, all the clothes, all the everything that you want if there is no peace? Peace of mind is the key. So I love that I have peace right now. And that is so key. So number one, the shift is the calling, not just a change. Let's go to number two. Growth requires shedding. Growth requires shedding. Just like a snake sheds its skin, your spiritual evolution requires you letting go of specific layers in your life. And you know what I'm going to tell you guys right now? I feel like a lot of us got very comfortable in the cocoon. We were caterpillars, and then we got into this cocoon, and we just been in this cocoon all these years, all this time. When we're meant to fly, we're meant to soar, we're meant to do so much more. But because we got so comfortable in this cocoon, we got so comfortable in this home, we got so comfortable in this situation, wherever you are right now, that we've been almost scared to go out and fly and soar and do more. And that's the reality of it. We got to shed, we have to soar, we have to let go of the past and fly. Because write this down. What served you in one season may be limiting you in the next season. Sheesh, when I read that one, I was like, damn. What served you in one season may be limiting you in the next season. That's the truth. Hey, maybe something served you in the last season, but now it's limiting you in the next. I felt that one. I needed that one. I needed to understand those things on a deeper level. Because the thing is, We have this, you know how they say connected to everything, attached to nothing. Well, the problem is we have a tendency to attach ourselves to a lot of things. We got to be connected to things, not attached to them. Because a connection is a connection, but when you're attached, you're locked in. We can't be attached. We need to be connected. That's the name of the game. So what served you in one season may be limiting you in the next season. That's the key. We got to remember that because growth requires shedding. I had to shed a lot of my version, a big version of myself when I've been growing in these seasons of my life. All these seasons in my life, I've had to always do more growing all the time. I had to let go of the old version of Nano who was living in New York City with his parents so I can step into a new version of Nano. I've had to do that many times throughout my life. Just like a snake does. They shed their skin to step into a new version of themselves. You got to let go of certain things. There's so much power in detachment. Yes, there is. So we got to understand that. That's why they say your old life must die so that your new life can be born. Isn't that crazy to think about that? Your old life must die so that your new one can be born. That's the beauty of life. Everything works in these phases, in these seasons. And what served you in certain seasons is not going to serve you in the next. It could be limiting you in the next one. And we got to be aware of that. So number 2, understand that growth requires shedding. And then understand this. This is point number 3, so we could wrap up this call. Spirit always moves before strategy. Spirit always moves before strategy. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the next step comes before you even understand it. Has that ever happened to you guys? That gut feeling, that inner nudge, that sense of more calling you, that divine whisper in your ear telling you, like, yo, it's time. You guys, I don't know about you guys, especially for my ladies, your intuition, you know, when your intuition tells you something and then you ignore it, and then next thing you know, you're like, yo, my intuition told me that a long time ago, but I chose to ignore it. You know what I've learned is listen to it and apply it immediately. Don't ignore your intuition. And and all my ladies, yes, yes, I knew. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like, why did I ignore it, right? My intuition has never lied. Your gut be screaming at you. It literally screams at you. Don't ignore it. That nudge, remember, like I said, the spirit always moves before the strategy. You may not understand it right away, but you can feel the next step before you understand it. I felt it. I felt the next step before I even understood it, to be real with you guys. And you gotta be aware of it. And this is in all areas of your life. In all areas of your life, with your mentality, with your emotions, with your spirituality, with your physical body, with everything, with your businesses, with your relationships, with your family. Listen to your intuition, fam. The spirit will always move before any strategy does. And that's something I had to understand. And this is key. The shift is here. We're heading into the biggest summer of our lives. We're headed into the biggest summer of our lives, summer 2025. It's going to be the summer that we talk about for a very long time. This is going to be the summer where we lock in more than we've ever locked in before. We're going to work harder than we've ever worked before because this is the harvest season. This is the year of the harvest. This is the year of receiving our blessings. All these last few years were all preparation for this year right here. For the next 6 to 9 months of the year, the last 3 or 4 years literally since COVID, all those years were all preparation for this moment right here, for these next 6 to 9 months. I'm telling you, remember I said that to you. Remember I said that to you. But we have to work though. We have to show it. We need to be aware of it. We need to see it and be like, this is my time. This is my time, but I need to prove myself. Doesn't matter if you haven't been working as hard as you're supposed to be working. All that matters is that everybody makes the shift together. We have 200 people on the call right now. All that matters is that we all make the shift together. Energetically, we all shift and step into that new version of you. Step into that next level version of you where you accept abundance, you accept success. Your hands are always open. You no longer live in lack. You live in abundance. You are no longer lacking consistency. Consistency is your strength. Discipline is your strength. Resilience becomes your strength. This is the season that we need to step into, because only those that step into that season are the ones that are going to receive. The ones who stay lazy and comfortable and not doing the work, those people are not going to receive. We're going to receive. You know why? Because we're going to step into the best version of us, the disciplined version of us, the abundant version of us, the version of us that has their hands open, that shows up on a day-to-day basis, that's resilient, that regardless of the failures, regardless of the things that God puts in our path, we're going to keep showing up. We're going to be the ones that wake up and we say, I love that abundance flows through me and to me at all times. I am a money magnet. Everything works in my favor. Everything I touch turns to gold. Okay. Even the things that seem like they're not working out for me, everything always works out for me. I want us to live in that reality. Shift your reality. Shift your reality into the reality that you receive everything that you deserve. Stop living in the reality that you don't deserve it, that you're not enough, that things never work in your favor. Change that way of thinking and step into a way of thinking that's going to allow you to receive. Step into the receiving vibration, not into the lack vibration. You understand that? Step into that receiving vibration because you deserve it. You've struggled enough. You've worked hard enough. You've been through so much already. Do you want to keep going through it, or you want to make a shift and start to receive? How many of us have gone through a lot the last couple of years? Put a 5 in the chat, right? Put a 5. Let's put a 5 right there in the chat. If you can say, yo, man, yo, Nano, I've gone through enough, bro. I've gone through enough. I've worked hard enough. I've struggled enough. I'm done with the heartbreaks. I'm done with the struggle. I'm done with all these things that have been happening in my life. That's it. And here's the thing about that sometimes we stay in those vibrations way too long and we do it to ourselves. That's the problem. Because look, all of us putting 5s. I'm going to throw some 5s in the chat too, because I don't want you guys to think that you're alone. I'm in there with you. But all of it was all preparation. It was all needed. But the thing is, we need to recognize when we need to shift. We need to recognize the shift. We need to recognize, yo, Nano, God, yo, Nikki, Felipa, Karen, Brian, Nikki, La Tierra, Wally, Zion. That's it. It's time for us to shift. Leo, my brother, it's time for us to shift. I'm done. I'm done with the struggles. I'm done with these things. I need a shift. Shirley, it's time for us to shift, sis. Claudia, it's time for us to shift. We don't want to keep going through this. And sometimes, like I said, we do it to ourselves because we stay stuck in this vibration for too long. We think about it for too long. We just sit there and we just let it happen, and we just stay stuck there, and we don't do anything about it. And we let the vibration, we let the situation get the best of us. When in reality, deep down inside, you know it, and you hear your intuition telling you you're meant for more. You know you can do more. You know you can be more disciplined. You know you're supposed to be doing this, and this and that. But sometimes the vibration is so strong, you've been in it for so long that you get stuck. You literally get stuck. It's almost like you have this weight over your shoulder that just holds you down. And even when you try to move, you can't even move. I can tell you that because I've been there before. I know how hard it is when you've been stuck at a vibration for way too long that sometimes it almost feels like you can't even move. Exactly. Yes, it's like you're literally stuck in the mud. Feels like quicksand. But remember, guys, you got to shift. And the shift is not a physical shift, it's a mental shift, it's a spiritual shift that needs to happen. You need to shift your mindset from I don't have enough to I have more than enough. You need to shift your mindset from why is this happening to me to I'm grateful that this is happening to me. You need to shift your mindset from I don't have money flowing to me. You need to tell yourself I have more than enough money flowing to me. Abundance is my birthright. I am a money magnet. All opportunities work in my favor. Anything that doesn't serve me, God remove it from my life. It's time to us to shift because like we always say, enough is enough. For how much longer are we going to settle? Did you know that when you settle, you're not living in your God-given purpose? When you settle, you are not living in your God-given purpose. So, as a matter of fact, not only are you disrespecting yourself, not only are you disrespecting your family, but you're also disrespecting the Most High because you're not living in your purpose. Settling is not living in your purpose. Striving to be the best version of you is living in your purpose. Striving to serve the Lord is living in your purpose. Building the kingdom on a day-to-day basis is living in your purpose. And you know what happens when you don't live in your purpose? You feel guilty, you feel shame. And when you feel those are low vibrations. Those are very low vibrations. And I share that with you guys because I've been there many times before. I've been there many times before. I mean, if you don't believe me, look at this. Look at what happens when you're feeling those. Look at this. Look at the emotional guidance scale. Just take a look at this. This is what woke me up to everything. Look at the downward spiral because this is what happens. Remember, when we're settling, when we're not living up to our purpose, we're in the downward spiral right here. We start to feel boredom, pessimism, frustration, impatience. I know there's someone on this call that's very impatient. You need to fix that, brother. Overwhelmment, disappointment. Then people start to worry, doubt, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hate, jealousy, insecurity, fear, grief, depression, powerlessness. I lived on this side of things for a long time. And when I was living on this side of the spiral, my life was miserable. Nothing worked in my favor, no money. I couldn't get people to join my business. It literally felt like God was working against me almost in a way. It was the worst because I was on a downward spiral when it came to my emotions. And if you look at these emotions right now, guys, I want you to take a real close look at them. I want you to ask yourself, have I been feeling more emotions on the downward spiral, or have I been feeling more emotions on the upward spiral? You don't gotta answer it in the chat. I just want you to keep it to yourself right now and look at this and be real and honest with yourself. On a day-to-day basis, what emotions have you been feeling more of? Have you been feeling more on the upward or on the downward? Because that could tell you everything about where you are in life right now. It could tell you everything about why you're attracting every situation that you're attracting in your life. Everyone's goal here should be to be real. We should all be in the first four right here. This is where we want to be at. This is where we want to be at right here. The first four. We want to, every day, we want to wake up filled with joy, love, empowerment, freedom, appreciation, passion, enthusiasm, and a positive expectation of belief. You want to you want to wake up every day and feel this. You want to attract that life that you want. You want to live a life of abundance and freedom and love and passion and happiness and gratitude and everything. You got to wake up and feel these emotions. Because these over here, these are the ones that are destroying you. These are the ones that are keeping you where you are. These are the ones that are allowing you to attract all those, excuse my language, shitty situations. When you vibrate at this level, this is what attracts all those bad situations that happen in our lives, because you're vibrating here. When I was vibrating here, my situations were the worst. Everything was working against me, everything. But when I'm vibrating here, man, let me tell you, everything I touch turns to gold. Everything works in my favor. Everything, everything, everything. So we got to work to get here. When you're tapped in right here, you connected with God on the ultimate level. Because the like it says right here, you see that little heart in the middle? God will give you what your heart desires, but you got to be vibrating on that level to receive it. And that's the name of the game. So the 3 points that we covered on today's call. There's a power in the shift. We said number 1, the shift is a calling, not just a change. That's number 1. We said number 2, that growth requires shedding. You got to leave the old version of you behind. And then last but not least, number 3, it says the spirit always moves before strategy. You're going to feel that gut feeling, that inner nudge, that calling that's going to tell you, yo, you deserve more. You're meant for more. Stop settling and stop playing small. Go and get your dreams and make them all a reality, because they're all going to happen for you. When you start to live like that, guys, I'm telling you, life will really change, fam. So that is my training for today, guys. That is the power of the shift, spiritually speaking. Put a 333 in the chat box if you're ready to make a shift, if you're ready to step into a newer version of yourself. And that starts right after this call. Like, I want you to shift the moment this call finishes. Let me see, somebody asks, what about when we're these, but we face a situation where it is the opposite? Change the way you look at it. Remember, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Shift your perspective, shift your perception, shift the way you look at it. Everything, remember, nothing is good or bad. It's what you make it. If you change the way you look at it, everything will change. All right, fam. So that wraps up today's call. Like I said again, guys, I will be live Monday through Friday on YouTube and on Instagram. So I am going to be live on YouTube Monday through Friday for the next coming weeks. Stay tuned. We have a lot of amazing things. A lot of shifts are happening in our lives right now, including mine. Shifts have been happening in my life, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in all of our lives, because there's a lot of shifts happening right now. Yes, 10 a.m. Eastern time every morning, Monday through Friday on YouTube and on Instagram. I will be live. Okay, so today we had over 200 people. You know what, guys? Let's put another 200. Let's pack out these calls. Share this with a friend. Share this with a family member. I will be live on Instagram and on YouTube Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna grow these calls and we're gonna make sure that everybody wins. If you're on Instagram and you want to be on the live on YouTube, just follow me on YouTube. It's just go to Mornings with Nano. All the recordings are saved here, so you guys can always come back and watch them. And that's the beauty of you guys being able to hop on here, fam. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I do a little prayer at the end of every call. So if you guys allow me to pray over you guys with respect to what you guys believe in, I would appreciate it. If for whatever reason you got to hop off, I respect that as well. But I do a little prayer at the end of every call for my people that, are aligned and want to get that prayer. All right, fam. So I'm gonna do a little prayer and we're gonna end it right there. All right, guys. So quick prayer. Father God, we just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Tuesday morning. We are so excited for the shift in our lives. We are excited to open up new doors and close old ones. We are excited to leave the past behind and step into the future. And we know that you're leading the way through this whole entire process, Father. So we are literally letting go and letting you lead for us. We're letting you open up these doors for us. We're letting you remove the things in our lives that are no longer serving us, God. So we just want to say thank you so much for all the work. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for healing us. Thank you for removing the things in our life that are no longer serving us, Father. We follow you and we always will, God. And we're just so thankful that you're holding our hands through this process, and your grace in this process has been absolutely amazing. So we thank you. We love you. We do everything for your praise and your glory. Let's go out there and have a productive day. And in God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. All right. Let's run this up. Let's have a great week, guys. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. The shift is here, and I'm so excited to see what happens for all of us once we make that shift, because like I said, abundance is our birthright, and we are going to make sure that we receive everything that we know we deserve. Our hands are open and we receive everything that God has for us in this season. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow at 8 a.m. God bless. Thank you, fam.